WGN, right? I mean, that's what I remember watching those teams. I don't think you could be a college coach or a college basketball player and not have great affinity for Ray and Joey Meyer.
Look at this full circle moment right now. Chris Holtmann watched the great DePaul teams in the 70s, in the 80s, growing up in Kentucky. Now he takes over as the Blue Demons head coach, and he joins us now on set. Good morning. Good to have you. Congratulations.
Oh, it's great to be here. Yeah, great to be here.
Listen, let's get right to it. It's been 20 years since an NCAA tournament. When are we going back? Give me a definitive declaration right now.
You want the year? You want the date?
Right now.
Yes, I love it. The hard questions first.
Listen, I'm not pussyfooting around here.
We will get there. I said it there. We will get there. I think the, I said my AD sent me a note right when I arrived at the hotel first day here. He said, brick by brick, I'm with you. That means a lot. It's going to take a lot of work. There's no question. It's going to take a lot of work. We'll get there.
It is a big job. I mean, there's no denying that. I think anybody who knows, you can't sugarcoat that. Yep. Where do you start with something like this? Like, what are your first 3 steps when you say, all right, this thing has to be completely rebuilt? Where do you start?
Always with the people first. So that's in your player acquisition, and that's in your staff. It's always about the people first. And obviously, you got to acquire smart, talented people. But it begins with our recruiting and then the way we assemble our staff.
Recruiting in Chicago, I mean, it's not just been an issue for DePaul. It's been an issue for pretty much any team in this state to keep the best players in Chicago in state. How do you build those inroads? How do you keep those best players, not just in Illinois, but attract them to DePaul?
Well, relationships first, as you know. And I think, obviously, winning helps that. Teams are constructed so differently than what they were, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Rosters are constructed differently. They're not as homegrown in a lot of ways as they used to be. You look at the Final Four, the Elite Eight, there's going to be a lot of teams that have half their teams come from other places, other schools, other universities. So there's a lot of different ways to make up a roster, but there's no question Chicago and this state will be very important for us.
You talk about building a roster, and you and I talked in the commercial about that. That's your first job right now, is you got to build that team. That is so hard now to build that consistency in any college sport, given the transfer portal, given the NIL deals. How do you navigate that efficiently?
It's the biggest question for college coaches right now is roster management and building and constructing a roster that has some stability. College basketball has seen it a number of years. College football has now experienced it the last couple of years. Obviously, I came from very much a football school. It is about finding the right kids, but I don't think you can look at it as, hey, I'm going to have this kid for 3 or 4 years anymore. It's really just a shorter term, almost from year to year, in terms of putting a team together.
You know what I like about you, and I've been doing a little